Right now, I want to bring in Ron Paul, the Republican presidential candidate, the Republican congressman from Texas. Congressman, thanks very much for coming in.
Welcome. You're welcome.
I want you to respond, if you will, Congressman. Rick Santorum keeps suggesting, and his supporters, his strategists, keep saying you're in cahoots with Mitt Romney. You're trying to help Mitt Romney secretly behind the scenes in order to, for whatever reason, and that's why you're running ads going after Rick Santorum. Earlier, you ran ads going after some of the other candidates, but you never say anything or do anything critical of Mitt Romney. Go ahead, talk to Rick Santorum. Tell him why you think you're not in cahoots with Mitt Romney.
Well, you know, if anybody comes to any of our meetings or our rallies, I talk about issues, you know, foreign policy and civil liberties and the economy and the gold standard and the Federal Reserve. But if that's all he has to talk about, that means he doesn't have much of a platform to talk about. I would think we're supposed to be talking about the issues. But to construct something like that, I mean, he just pulled that out of the air because there's no truth to it. So, but if he wants to spend his energy doing that, you can't do anything about it. But he dreamt that up, and I think he should talk about the issues instead. That's what I think I'm supposed to do.
Well, let me be precise then. Have you run ads critical of Mitt Romney? He says you haven't, but you know the facts.
Yeah, we have. At the beginning, we called him a flip-flopper, and anytime we're in a debate, you know, I mentioned it, I run against all three of them because they are very similar. They have the same foreign policy. They're very aggressive in moving our troops around and occupying. They endorse this principle of preemptive war. They aren't interested in even talking about civil liberties. They don't talk about the Federal Reserve and what we ought to do. And nobody has provided any real cuts. And I provide real cuts because I think the debt is the problem. We have a debt crisis in this country. As a matter of fact, it's worldwide. And it's rather serious. So I see them all in the same category. I think the only difference I've been able to observe is there quite possibly would be management styles on their personalities on how they would do things, but philosophically there's no difference, and I don't hesitate to point out our differences, no matter who it is.
You know, because I've asked some of Santorum's supporters, why do you believe that Ron Paul would be in some sort of conspiracy to help Mitt Romney? And you know what they've said to me, Congressman? You want me to tell you, right?
Well, if you want to.
I'm going to tell you.
Real curious.
I'm going to tell you this is what they've got, this notion that you would like to see your son Rand Paul, the Republican senator from Kentucky, on the ballot with Mitt Romney, and that's why you're supposedly protecting Mitt Romney and going after Rick Santorum. What do you think of that theory?
Well, the first thing, it hasn't crossed my mind. Second thing, I don't think it would work. And third thing, I don't Mitt Romney would be talking in that language at all. So I think that's just, some people are much more into conspiracies than others. So if Santorum is an addict on conspiracies, I guess he's going to have to keep talking that way.
What happened in Michigan tonight? You know, I would have thought in a state like Michigan, you would have done better than you're obviously doing right now. What happened?
Well, I don't know whether you could say something happened, because our polls showed that, you know, we have solid support and our numbers are better. Every state we've been in, if you compare it to 4 years ago, it doubles and triples in enthusiasm. I mean, obviously, we wished we could have done a lot better, but the growth and the spirit behind what we're doing, and, you know, we get these, everybody recognizes we get a large number of people out, and a lot of them are young people. Some now that we're with and came out 4 years ago are 18 and 19, and they're now voting. But there's still now a lot of young people come out. So there's something about this message of liberty and anti-war and sound money, very attractive to young people. I think they're scared to death about the debt they're inheriting, and they're understanding what I'm saying. So, yes, the enthusiasm is much greater than the actual votes that come, but still, we're very pleased with our strategy. I mean, we're accumulating delegates, and we will continue to work on the caucus states where, you know, our investment can pay off more, and that is our strategy. And right now, we're not disappointed with the way the process is working and giving us a chance to build on our delegate count.
the Virginia primary. A week from today, you're in Virginia right now, Springfield, Virginia,
right,
just outside of Washington, D.C. As you know, Newt Gingrich didn't get on the ballot in Virginia. Rick Santorum didn't get on the ballot in Virginia. Their campaign organizations weren't good enough, apparently, to get all the signatures that they needed. You're on the ballot. Mitt Romney is on the ballot. Only the two of you. Some are saying you're going to reach out to Santorum and Gingrich supporters, in effect, to try to beat Mitt Romney in Virginia. What's your strategy in Virginia, Congressman?
Well, obviously, but what somebody might construe as being reaching out. Some people think that you're going to try to talk people into voting for you for nefarious reasons. Certainly not. I mean, I was reaching out when I put ads on about how Santorum is a fake conservative. You know, that's to get some of his vote. So I'm always reaching out to get all their votes. And yes, I'm going to try to get as many votes from Santorum, of his people, and Gingrich, and see what I can do. But that's our job of the campaign, and that's why I'm here, and that's why we had a couple thousand people show up, and it was very encouraging, obviously.
In Virginia, what's going to be your main argument over the next few days between now and next Tuesday to try to win in Virginia and beat Mitt Romney?
That's one thing, you know, people ask about that. What do you do in Virginia versus North Dakota and California? To me, the same message. Why shouldn't the message of freedom and sound money and a prosperous economy and a sensible foreign policy and civil liberties, that should appeal to everybody. It's cross-section. And that is what I love about this message of individual liberty, because it brings people together, because they come together for their freedom, whether it's their social freedoms or whether it's their economic freedoms. And we should all get together for that reason and not be judgmental about how they use that freedom. So I can't change my message and say, well, I'm going to Virginia. What kind of subsidies do they need? What can I promise them? And you go to Iowa, can we promise farm subsidies? And this sort of thing. I can't do that. I'm just so convinced that the cause of liberty and individual liberty and sound money and free market economics is the solution to our problems. So my message is the same no matter where I go.
One final question, Congressman. When someone like Mitt Romney, for example, wins in Arizona tonight, let's see what happens in Michigan, do you normally call them and congratulate them after a win in these states?
You know, I have in the past, but there gotten to be so many states coming up, and if somebody doesn't give a speech early and I'm on the road, it's likely that I won't do it, you know, but I have on several occasions.
Congressman, as usual, we're getting into this habit speaking every week during these campaign elections. Thanks so much for joining us.
You're welcome. Nice to be with you.
Ron Paul joining us from Virginia.